Eamonn Holmes has spoken out for the second time since his split from Ruth Langsford, with the presenter admitting he's not okay and hasn't been since the couple's breakup. Noted television personality Eamonn Holmes' declaration that he wasn't okay in a message to his ex-wife Ruth Langsford might hide something beyond the obvious, according to a relationship expert. Holmes, a flagship presenter on GE News, publicly disclosed last week his struggles following his divorce, confessing that the split had taken its toll on him. "I'm not okay. This is not a good time at all," he told reporters at the TRIC Awards, where he was nominated for Best News Presenter and Best News Broadcast categories. Recounting the dissolution of his 14-year-long marriage, he expressed hope that he and Langsford can still maintain a friendly rapport. "It's too early to say, but I hope we can still be friends," reports The Mirror. Battling chronic back pain, which required the use of a specialized wheelchair during the ceremony, he even mulled over the thought of being on borrowed time. Dr. Louise Goddard Crawley, a psychologist and relationship expert, admits feeling conflicted about deciphering Holmes's recent comments. She suggests it could be viewed as an attempt to manipulate Ruth into feeling guilty or, alternatively, a plea for help. "I would interpret this as indicative of Eamonn's own internal struggle with his motivations," Dr. Goddard Crawley confided to The Mirror. "His drive to reach out publicly and express his vulnerability suggests a deeper conflict between a desire for sympathy and a genuine need for emotional support. This duality in his actions could reflect his own uncertainty about his intentions and emotional needs. Skeptics may see this as a guilt-tripping tactic," the expert went on. "This perspective suggests that Eamonn is using emotional appeals to evoke sympathy from Ruth and the public, potentially making Ruth feel responsible for his distress. His hope that they can remain friends might place pressure on Ruth to maintain a relationship, complicating her ability to move on." Publicly discussing his personal struggles adds another layer of complexity. This public disclosure could be seen as an attempt to garner support and sympathy from the audience, indirectly influencing Ruth's image and increasing the emotional burden on her. Alternatively, Eamonn's sentiments could be interpreted as genuine vulnerability and honesty, the expert suggests. His openness about his emotional and physical struggles might be his way of managing public curiosity and speculation, rather than a manipulative tactic, Dr. Goddard Crawley advised. The desire to remain friends could stem from a sincere wish to keep their relationship amicable, which would be beneficial for both parties given their professional overlap and public presence. Discussing his health issues and sense of being on borrowed time might be more about his own existential reflections and less about influencing Ruth's feelings, providing context for his current emotional state. The psychologist concluded that projection might be at work, with Eamonn revealing his inner struggles through an external scenario to gain validation and support. The hope to remain friends could indicate a form of emotional dependency, highlighting his struggle to cope with the separation and maintain a connection for emotional security, she explained. His public declarations might also function in helping him deal with feelings of abandonment or rejection by garnering empathy from others. "I would say that his actions most likely stem from an interplay of emotional needs and coping. It is important to understand the pain we experience as humans from separation and loss. It is one of the hardest things for us to deal with, so in a way, it is helpful for us to validate the expression of his needs. The question that remains is whether Ruth needs to be the one validating them, or if perhaps a close friend or therapist should be." Eamonn's woes were compounded when he appeared to take a swipe at Ruth during an award acceptance speech with his GB News team last Tuesday. He quipped, "I got two things in my back that I didn't want," which many interpreted as a reference to his surgery for chronic pain and his wife Ruth. Rumors swirled that Ruth, who has maintained a low-profile post-split, was hurt by what she perceived as a slight from Eamonn, with an insider telling Mail Online. Ruth took Eamonn's words as a dig at her. She found it unfair and hurtful, and noted that friends are worried this is going to get very nasty. Yet, it was later made clear that his remark wasn't directed at his former partner. Eamonn's representative clarified to the Mirror. Eamonn's comments had nothing to do with anything other than the 2 pins in his back after his surgeries.